picture in my mind. You wanna leave it all behind in a world that's turning all the time. Nothing could stop me longing for your eyes. I won't let it die. I can feel you when you're not around. When the night gets cold, I won't be alone. We won't be This lake of fire burns my skin. How could love wear so thin? I'm sinking in the hollow ground. Nothing can stop me wanting you somehow. I won't let it die. I can feel you when you're not around. When the night gets cold, I won't be alone. We won't be I won't let it die. I can feel you when you're not around. When the night gets cold, we won't be alone.
Take your things, 'cause we won't be back again. Say goodbye, oh, we're leaving now. Look up, we can have some hope again. We'll get out of here, just hold on, hold on. things, 'cause we won't be back again. Say goodbye, oh we're leaving now. Look up, we can have some hope again. We'll get out of here, just hold on, hold on,
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday evening to you all. My name is Kyle Corvus Crow, joined at the desk today by the one and only Zeta Beta, getting ready for a little bit of Quake Champions action. It's the semifinals time. We finally made it here tonight. All of our questions will be answered as far as who will be taking the stage next weekend at QuakeCon to play live.
And that's a pretty freaking huge question, I gotta say, right? This is what the entire season has been building towards. It's about, do you get the trip to Dallas, or do you go home with a not-so-small sum of cash in your pocket? Well, you shall see. First match up of the day is going to be RIT versus Carlton. Both of these teams had a relatively close, I would say, quarterfinals, right? It wasn't a blowout. It wasn't, entirely one-sided. For the most part, Carlton did have a little bit of an advantage in their set, and we'll see. We'll see who comes out swinging for the fences on this one. I think Carlton most likely have a little bit of an edge coming in. They've got some very, very talented fraggers on both sides, of course, but keep this in mind. It's Chain and Burton, right? We mentioned these guys in articles. We talked about them all season long. These guys are fantastic players, and to bring them down, I really do think that we're going to have to see something special. RIT is a very good team, but a lot of the time they do fall behind. They've lost maps. They've dropped things. And Chain and Burton haven't missed a step. So can the Infallible Giants actually find their match? That will be the choice and the question that we pose to Corrupted Keep, the first map of our first series of the semifinal.
Yes, we pull that up on your screen, getting ready for RIT versus Carlton. Corrupted Keep. This is the default. Keep in mind, if you're new to our format, if you don't know how this works, if you're just stopping by for the first time, well, hey, we want to welcome you. And the way this all works is that the first map is neutral, and then it's loser's choice from there on out throughout the best of three. So winning the first map, we've stressed all season long just how important that is. Corrupted Keep, an interesting one too, because we saw it as a default map one time earlier in the season, so everyone's played it at least the once. We've not seen a ton of it beyond that, right? We've only seen, really, people play this map when they have to. So, interested to see how this one pans out.
Maybe like once or twice in the entire season, but we're already into the action. 187 on the Trigun. Burton flank with the Lightning. I think that's actually pretty good track. He knows exactly where he is by the sounds through that gate. Trying to catch him with his own slip gate, the rupture forwards, and he does actually miss it, but Chain, great follow-up from him to get their second kill and take a very early lead.
And then Chain just there and ready to get back up to full speed on his health. Do some support shots now. On to 187. Make sure Burton can back down. Okay, they're playing around this top statue. Chain, though, going through the slip gate. It's going to find Burton, but he's going to double up back around the other way and kill both Epiclo and 187, making this a 3-point lead thus far. The guys over in Carleton University. We'll see now whether or not they can keep up this momentum, because it does look like, hey, RIT, they're trying to slow things down a bit, They're trying to just catch their breath in this one. Chain, he doesn't want that to happen. He's going to challenge the slipgate, and Epiclo taken down. That's a killing spree for Chain.
And, I mean, he's almost at a kill every 10 seconds for just himself, let alone the pair. Chase through as well. The Lightning Gun is able to find one. He converts for a second. 7 kills out of his team's 8. They're going to continue on the spree, but this is the timing, right? He just wants to get that armor, not allow them a single chance to get any kind of a power-up, an advantage in health or durability. Instead, they're going to try for another duel, but Chain has won it again, and Epiclo will fall victim to his dual lightning spree, simultaneously taking down another team kill. I mean, this man right? There's a reason he has been the player to beat. There's a reason we watched out for him all season long, because he pulls things off when nobody else should. The quad damage is timed out by 187, and it just doesn't matter.
Chain just sitting there ready for it, does pick it right on up. 10 of these 12 frags belong to him, and we're only 2 minutes in as he finds his 11th. Make it 12 right now as Epiclo. No chance against that lightning gun. 187 falls as well. The patterns, Chain knows them so well, and this guy's such a force to be reckoned with on small maps. He gets going so fast, and look at that. He is just blitzing through them with this QD. I mean, that is destructive. In about 20 seconds, we saw him pick up 5-6 kills there. Burnton, also no slouch. This is bad for Rochester Institute of Technology, right? They're trailing 16 kills in the first 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, you can say bad, you can say horrific. This is an absolute slaughter coming out of the gates. Of course, the small maps, we mentioned it, he's very good at them. But if he wins the neutral small, then he gets such a big advantage going into the rest of them. Even if you take him to a large map, even if you can find some sort of momentum, you need to be able to play the neutral, you need to be able to win it. This is not looking great. I mean, 20-4, make that 21. Chain is an absolute monster. Oh my gosh, 22 frags in 3 minutes. I'm not so sure how much longer map number 1's gonna go.
You know what? Yeah, we could be seeing a sub 7-minute finish if Chain and Burton can keep up this particular pace that they've set out for themselves. 187 does find one back onto Burton.
Yeah, he's found a couple back actually very recently. And I think that's definitely good news. You know, if you can slow down their pace, even if you don't win the first map, just being able to mentally say that, yes, we can compete, we can slow down the pace, we can win the fights because we have the aim, right? It's about the fact that he's put so much speed into the game, you don't have time to aim, right? He's got quad, he's going to kill you instantly. And that's what this is all about. You know, he got the very first power-up with a great response kill, and he's going to get the second one as well, the protection to his name, forcing them both back with rockets. And now in the 1 versus 2, Burnton will finally be called upon. He will deliver with a frag and turn their lead into a 500% one.
I mean, yeah, we're looking at 20 frags deficit now for the side of Rochester Institute of Technology. Burnton frags out 187 just to keep this moving. Now, we did see a drastic slowdown of pace, much in credit to RIT, knowing they need to dial this one back and knowing that they can't let it get too far out of hand. We'll see if that pace reduction is enough at this point, is something that they can at least start to get points back on the board. We've been seeing, hey, look, better play coming out. 187, another kill onto Burnton. We were sitting at under 3 minutes and, what, 22 kills? Now in just 2 minutes, they've only scored 4.
Yeah, this is the kind of play, right? We talked about them being good fraggers. We talked about them having clean, coordinated play throughout the entire season. This is what we wanted to see, right? They are very good at actually slowing down the game and redirecting paces, but has it gone too far already from the side? Burnton is lowering their health, chipping away with that machine gun. The heavy is able to do a little bit of damage right now, but they still don't want to full pursuit, right? 187 is healthy, he's got armor, they don't want to overextend. Take fights on their terms, and they generally can actually win them if Shane doesn't have double shotguns, and that turned very unfortunate, thinking with the double lightnings, 187 is going to burn him down. That's just not the case. Instead, he is the one that is traded out. Burnton is behind him now, and 187's already wrapped up Chain.
Yeah, he'll be happy to grab those two, bring it back, still just staying at a 20 frag deficit. It's a long way to go, but probably got to be a nice moral victory for 187 that he can pull off the team wipe. Epiclo here doing his damnedest just to stay alive. Drops the trap, not going to matter. Burton follows right through, and he's going to be low. Does clean up at least by 187, so the trap did come into play after all, but Chain able to find him. Burnton back into things. That's the quad damage for Chain. We'll see now whether or not they decide to push too heavily. Epiclo on the run back. Going to be tagged out of this one. Burnton going to find that one with the shotgun turn heel and take out 187 to find a nice double down team wipe of his own. And Chain still with half on that quad damage. This is going to be destructive.
Yeah, he's absolutely run the map with the first quad damage. This one looks to be no different. With 24 kills in just 6 short minutes, he has been an absolute force to be reckoned with. It's already fallen off, though, and that means they're going to have to find just 12 more kills to close out this map number 1. And you've got to think, in nearly 9 minutes of play, it's all but inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, this is such a tough situation for RIT to bounce back from. This is where you start talking about your map pick, right? You say, hey, look, here's the things that went right for us this game. Let's stall it out, buy a little bit more time.
We got some great delay. You know, they're able to actually win aim duels, 187 versus Chain. We've seen him win that quite a few times in this map alone, and that's got to feel good. You know, when you're playing against somebody like this, when they take over the map so early on, to be able to even come back and say, yes, we can actually aim, you just got a really good runoff, is a very, very big thing. And I think he's got the skill to do it. We'll just see how quickly they can close it back together, because after all, they do need quite a bit more in order to come back into this one. 15 kills versus 9 to find.
Yeah, make it 7 at that point as Burton and Chain each collect one for themselves. Only halfway up in the time expiration, so we know that Carlton is looking to push this one to a score victory. They want all 50 frags for their stat padding. Burton going to take his share of just 2 more of those, bringing it down to a 5-frag game. They're trying their best to find it out early. They're trying to make this a quick series. They want to punch through into the finals, into that QuakeCon stage, but RIT still have some fight left in them. We'll see whether or not they can pull anything out of this series, even though this game seems all but a foregone conclusion, as Burnton brings it back down now to just 2 frags to put them through to the next game, 1-0 in the lead.
Epiclo, he's able to get these kills though, right? He's got some great fadeaways, some good movement to keep himself alive for now. But with that first frag, 187, he doesn't go down to Burnton. And this is going to mean that Chain is the one that they want to close out map number 1. He will do it with the rocket. And it is a very dominating performance. The reason Carlton is so feared just went on display.
Yeah, absolutely the case. And we talked, you know, quite a bit throughout this playoffs about sending a message. I think Chain just sent a pretty strong message there with 30 and 6. This is setting the tone for perhaps the rest of these playoff runs that they're going to be experiencing here. I mean, this is a tough situation to find your way back from if you are now the guys over in the Rochester Institute of Technology. A little time to catch their breath, a little time now to see what they want to play here, because map number 2, the pick of that one, so absolutely important at this point, and we'll see what all does come of that. It looks like, yes, they're going to be opting for Awoken here. So,
large map?
So some question marks there, you know. So first off, I want to say, before we dive too heavily into this game, we've seen Epiclo and 187 opt, I think, for Ruins of Sarnath at least once or twice when they were down, right?
Yes.
It's a large map. It's open. It's something they're very comfortable playing. Awoken is
something that allows, I think, something that's really key, especially in the current meta. It allows 187 to play the clutch, and I think nobody's going to deny he's probably the best clutch in terms of mechanics and actually being able to use that shield denial in this entire tournament, right? He has been fantastically on point with that, and to deny such an effective pick, you've got to wonder what's going on under the hood. Maybe they think Awoken's better. Maybe they've got something even better than the clutch. If that's the case, I'd love to see it.
Well, okay, say they do pull this off as we are getting ready to get into game transition up onto your screen. Say they do pull this off. Say they push through to Awoken, then it goes then over to the map pick of Carlton here. You'd have to be expecting, you know, something else small, maybe even like a Veil coming through, just so Chain can keep up that pressure. I mean, they're not going to see something like Ruins here, so we'll see how this one all does pan out. He's still going to go for the clutch here. It's a little bit worrisome. I mean, I would have to say this is Chain's best map throughout. I believe it was the first map we saw him on all season. He set such a tone for the rest of that season and was just so lightning fast with that. It was, you know, some of the most impressive Quake play I think we've seen throughout this entire summer. We'll see whether or not now this is the right decision for the guys over the Rochester Institute of Technology. Can the Tigers come back in this one?
They're gonna have to do it. If they don't, right, they are absolutely out of the running. This is the last chance, the last map. They will get to show it on. If they lose here, it's all but over. But talking about the shields, talking about why it matters, the clutch, he's very, very proficient on this. So few players are able and willing to pick this up. I think it's going to be maybe one of their biggest advantages going into the rest of this series, right? And the reason why, you negate the aim advantage. If someone's being perfect with the lightning, you give them a fraction of a second to hit it, force them to get the timing right, or a flank, and then win the duel.
Well, it looks like Epiclo is certainly comfortable playing around that tri-shot throughout, just making sure that he can maintain some zoning. So, you know, this is a little bit of that practice we saw early coming out. 3 frags in the first minute for Rochester. Not bad at all. Nothing too shabby. I mean, when comparing it to the pace of last time, 187 finds a suicide. Epiclo has to clean up Chain just to bring score back to dead even where it was. And now he's actually being hunted by Burnton with that railgun. Now coming trying to get to the support of 187, not there in time, does jump through, but Chain with the nail gun pumps him full and takes the lead.
I think that this one, right, they had a very, very early small lead, but they need something a little bit more solid in order to take this map number 2. Their map pick, most importantly. I think that's the hardest thing, right? When you have a map pick, when you're down, it's always such a big mental break to be able to come back into a series, especially against a player with so much talent. But 187 is so comfortable on this clutch, I think it might just work out.
Yeah, they're not knocking his mentality just yet. He's keeping this very consistent. It's the closest we've seen
4 seconds.
either of these 2 games. I mean, yeah, pulling up now with the quad damage, getting ready for that one. Going to be Epiclo killing Chain. That means they're going to be able to find it. It will go over to Epiclo. 187 says he doesn't need it. And Burton, maybe a little rattled, clips himself on the side of the wall there with the rocket. The splash damage back means he goes down. And this maintains a lead, actually. Well, so we thought, but they're going to take it right on back over. Carleton University not used to play from
I mean,
behind.
the slipgate into a perfect... Oh!
What?
What was that?
What did we just see?
By Chain. Absolutely insane. Obscene gameplay and aim from the man himself. Plus the steal to boot. I mean, he's at the top of his game right now. This is the best we've seen Chain play. And fortunately for him, it is the semis. This is where you want to show up. But unfortunately for RIT, oh, he tosses in a little bit of that, waiting for the health to spawn. The Mega in his hands and a big red to boot. He's got so much HP to play with that he's going to take on the 1 versus 2 and lose it to Epiclo and 187. They answer back with a pair of their own frags, trying to keep this game as even as they can.
It's a pretty rough situation, rough turnaround now, and it's, you know, great presence of mind by the guys over in Rochester to be able to hold out throughout this. I mean, this time, last game, we were sitting at something like 22-2. So it's definitely a much improved game. We've talked about, you know, we criticized, or at least I criticized, this map pick for Rochester off the rip, but they're certainly playing it better. Still, though, down 6 frags now, as it seems like Chain might just be heating up at the right time. He does find yet another one, but here's 187 to bounce in. Chain trying to use his ability to get through that, but the shield is just too strong. Now Epiclo is the problem he has to deal with. Burnton cleaning up 187, but Chain through the slip gate cannot quite find Epiclo. Has to bounce, get the armor, get the health. 187 in the meantime cleaning up Burnton. Means that things are a little shady as this protection is getting ready to spawn, and it looks like another power-up ready to go the way nearly uncontested for Rochester. Did cost Epiclo a suicide.
And I think that this is actually a possibility. I mean, they're keeping it much, much closer, and yes, you want to see that on your map pick, of course. You pretty much need to see that on your map pick if you want to have any chance of winning series, especially series like this. And 187 is able to push it, you know? He's able to actually do more than just stay even on their map pick. Oh, it's so hard to beat a Rupture, though. The Slipgate is insane on this Ranger, and Chain shows us why it counters out the clutch extremely well. He's been playing it all night long, and this is why. You get the instant kills, and it just works out.
Ready to pick that up, and gets killed himself here, actually. That's another use of that tri-shot, just coming out so damn cleanly from the side of Rochester Institute of Technology. I mean, they really do use this as a key point, as a focal point throughout their map strategy here. It's good to see it start to pay off for them, but there's still 5 frags down. Make it 6 again as Chain takes out Epiclo with a rocket launcher there, and the spawn unfavorable means he's going to get clipped with the railgun just in the face. Has to be careful. There's the flank coming in from Chain. Seems like Epiclo wasn't aware, and then look at that. 187 ran for the hills, had to go deal with Burnton, and Chain was able to find them both. It was divide and conquer, and it worked like a charm for the likes of Carleton University. Now the mid-air shots, Chain doubles down on him. Can he get the 2v1? Almost, but he has to take the slip
rail.
gate.
He actually expected to land it, which is why he flipped back and went for the slip gate, thinking that he could at least get away after he got the kill. But didn't actually pan out on the kill side. Oh, but this might. Misses the flick.
Ooh.
One frag, second one to convert. A great double play for him. And right as that quad damage is about to spawn, can Epiclo and 187 make their way to it and actually contest in time? The speed is on. 42 HP though. 187 with just a shield. He has to contest massively. The quad damage is in his hands. And just as quickly, it's ripped away.
Burton gonna be the one to take that. You get the feeling they would have rather given it over to Chain. But we'll see what this Burton Galena can make happen here. There is one. There's the other. It's a wipe now. And they're gonna come down. Epiclo 187 both fall. They're now 15 frags down in what was, I mean, really just a 2-3 point game just a few minutes ago. This is where the speed pickup is coming out of the side of Carleton University. That on-the-ground adaptation is what makes them one of our best teams in this tournament. And, you know, every team at this point in the tournament is one of the best, right? These are the top 4 that are left, but still, for Carleton to make it look so manageable against the likes of RIT.
Insane. Like, you think, how much do these guys actually have left in the tank at this point around? And I'm not really sure. We'll see if they can bring anything more to bear, because after all, this is not the end of the road. It is still in the middle of map number 2. They need to close it out as strongly as they started map number 1, and then they need to look forwards. But 187, he's not done with this map yet. Awoken still in his hands, and maybe he might just have woken up. A little bit of sleep helped him out quite well. 18-33, still maintaining the kill deficit. Just like we saw last time around, the kill deficit is being maintained, but the problem is you can't just maintain a deficit when you're already down.
No, certainly not. I mean, even when they started to pick it up, turn it back around on the other map, back around in Corrupted Keep, things didn't hold out as well as they wanted to. Did manage to slow the game down, but it was already too late at that point, and now they only have 7.5 minutes to make the most of the rest of this game. They do find a nice wipe there. That could be the start of something beautiful. That could be the start of the comeback that they're looking for, but Chain has other ideas as he jumps right through 187's face and bops Epiclo with the rocket. Point blank as well, saying no, there is a spot in Dallas on the line, and we aim to claim it. The protection will make that all the more realistic as 187 gets a suicide, and Chain just rips Epiclo right into 187 again, double suicides. And that is
it. He gets so low, and then he tries to get some height, some speed. The rocket jump ends up killing him. The close range, usually you're so ready to play close range with the clutch. You've got health and armor to spare, but this time around, it's just not happening. He doesn't have time to get any of the health or armor, and they're just dying for it. Left, right, center, he goes down again. Chain, he's hunting forwards, and he's gotten the spawn. Misses actually the slip gate, but the Rockets are good enough to finish it off, and with that, they are within 9 kills, sub 2 digits, going to QuakeCon.
They are looking for it, prowling. Sharks in the water that smell blood. 187 doing everything he can, but Burton doing just a little bit more with that shotgun, locking it down. 9 minutes on the clock, only 7 frags to find. Chain suicides. 187 says, "Don't feel bad, brother, I got your back." And, makes it look not as bad there, as he takes his 3rd SD of this round. It's only 8 frags to find at this point. Make it 7 now, as Burton locks down yet another. Epiclo suiciding. It doesn't get Burton any closer. What on earth is going on? This is some Jonestown
so
mass SDs.
When they actually go for the close range rocket fights, you know you always take damage in those close range rocket duels. They just die from it. And them getting the suicides is so bad, because it means that they get even further away, right? If it was a kill, it'd be pretty bad as well. But at least with the suicide, the kill score doesn't go up. The ultimate goal doesn't get reached, because they need 50 to win, or for themselves to be ahead when the time runs out. They're looking for the 50, though. The quad damage, it is up. Epiclo is the only one who can contest it with 7 seconds remaining. His partner does not have time to get there, or does he? The clutch is already there, and in the face of these 2 members, but the quad has been picked up, and Chain, with 4 frags to find, has a shotgun in a dream.
This is likely the very end of this all if he can just continue to keep up this pace. 35 frags to his name as Epiclo is added to that pile of bodies. Only 3 more. The quad's about halfway expired. He can definitely pick this up. Here's his opponent. Yeah, he's got to get Epiclo there. Make it the 36 frags. Burton finds 187, so just 1 more will mean that this definitely goes over into the hands of Carleton University. We'll see whether or not They can make it all happen. They can lock it all down. And yes, just like that, ladies and gentlemen, that will be the victory. Chain and Burton do lock down a decisive semi-final appearance to make themselves known, a finals force coming in. They will play the winner of UT Austin and Appalachian State. Rochester Institute of Technology are going to go home with a very respectable $10,000 in their pocket. I think they'll be happy for that all the same. But alas, their road to QuakeCon has ended here, and they will not be performing in Dallas for us. And it's going to be Carleton University making their way to the Lone Star State to lock it down, bring us a little hype, and compete for that $25,000 grand prize. Of course, just by winning tonight, they've secured a minimum of $15,000. Second place, $15,000. First place, $25,000. There's a $10K split at the very top of things, but they've earned another $5 just for this game alone this evening.
Yeah, and as much as it looked like a one-sided affair, you have to remember this is already semis, right? Both of these teams literally had to be undefeated to get here. They beat every other team they came up against. So RIT, as hard as it is going down 2-0, as hard as it is losing like that to Chain and Burnton, you got to admire the fact that they even got here, because it's semis, right? The top 4 team, to say that it's a bad way to go out is, I think, not the way to go about it, right? It's definitely an achievement, to say the least. And it means that they're going to be going home with a pretty decent chunk of change. But the way Chain and Burton are playing, I think UT Austin, App State, our next match, whoever wins this is going to have their hands a little bit full in Dallas.
Absolutely. We're about to kick it over to a break. But before we do, we have a couple little bit of announcements, some sponsors to thank, things of that nature. So if you are just joining us, my name is Kyle Corvus Crow. I'm joined by Zeta. We are your Quake casters for this lovely evening, this lovely season. We do want to give a huge shout out to the people over in Bethesda for making this game, commissioning this league, and putting up that $100,000 prize pool that everyone is playing for. Also, the chance to play on QuakeCon stage would not be possible without their help. So a huge thank you to Bethesda. Got to give a shout out to 2 of our other sponsors as well. Of course, Juice Battery. Battery for gamers, lasts 6 times as long and charges twice as fast to keep you in the game with all of your wireless peripheral or controller needs. And of course, a huge shout out to Twitch Student. Twitch, you know them, you love them. Twitch.tv is where you are right now, but you can also keep up with them on their social medias. Twitter.com/Twitch, Facebook.com/Twitch. They've always got cool things going on, especially if you are a college student. Can't recommend looking into that enough. We will be back with just a little bit more Quake action coming your way, as we do have, like Zeta said earlier, UT Austin squaring off against Appalachian State, VDMK, and Kevin Wow, Pithy, Nubkey. It's going to be a match for the ages, we're sure. And with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
'cause we won't be back again. Say goodbye, oh we're leaving now. Look up, we can have some hope again. We'll get out of here, just hold on, hold on.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sticking with us through the break. If you are just joining us, my name is Kyle Corvus Crow. That is Zeta Beta. We are your Quake casters for tonight, and we are very excited to hop in to the last semi-final to see whether it will be UT Austin or Appalachian State that is going to take the stage at QuakeCon and try to dethrone Carleton's undefeated run. Thus far, we did just see them come in with a massive statement series against the Rochester Institute of Technology. Now, all that is left to determine is who they will be facing. We got two very talented teams coming up against one another right here, right now, and I'm excited to see it all play out.
Yeah, the young Lord Ved, his compadre, compatriot, his brother in arms.
Kevin,
and there's a lot, I'd say, riding on UT Austin, because it's not just that they're, talented, right? VDMK is talented, right? Kevin Wow is talented. They're very skilled players. They'd get to play in front of a home crowd. And I think that playing in front of a home crowd, especially at a QuakeCon that might or might not be your first ever on the actual stage of QuakeCon, which if it is, that's got to be a fantastic feeling as well, being up on stage and able to actually play in front of all of these crowds versus App State. And App State, Pithy, Nubkey. What more can I say? They've been on stream so many times. They've been dominating so many times. Some close shaves as well, of course. They are not here without injury, but scratches notwithstanding. They are definitely a more than capable player, I guess is the word I would go with.
These are two of the top teams in the tournament. We're going to see how they do indeed take to it, do battle against one another, and come out on the other side. Of course, just like last series, I should say. If you have been watching, the first map of the day is the Corrupted Keep. That's not going to change.
The thing is, right, and the reason I say more than capable, this is a pair that isn't the same as we've seen for most of our other top teams, right? Most of our other top teams are extremely skilled player, and then someone who hasn't played the game as much but is mechanically talented. And this one, it just seems like Pithy and Nubkey play off each other so well. They're so close in skill, they've got great coordination, that breaking apart that is always the hard task, rather than out-aiming.
Right. No, I think that's a very great point to make as we do launch into this game. Get ready for everything to transpire as we do pull it up on your screen here. It's not just about how fast you are. It's not just about how clean you are. We've seen fast and clean players, but if they get rattled, if they get split up, the divide, the conquer, something both these teams are so good at doing. It'll be interesting to see whether or not either will be able to get back up on their feet in this series as we do get into the first map. Of course, the Corrupted Keep, the neutral map. Important to win, obviously, as we have seen. If you're going to have a series that's going to go the distance, if you're going to try to have a hope in a series, winning the neutral map, well, that gets you a pretty big advantage because it means that no matter what, you either win the series or you get to defend on your own map pick for the third and final game. So both of them looking to come out strong here. Young Lord Ved, a.k.a. VDMK, just firing some early shots. It's 30 seconds without an opening frag. So we get a little armor up in this, and everyone's running together. You can see that looks like over on the side of Appalachian State there that they want to hold out that statue room, but they're pushed out pretty quickly. Kevin Wow and VDMK each come out with a kill.
Yeah, very interesting rotation over the side. Maybe a little bit preemptive to try and get some HP or something of the sort. Pithy thrown in and then collides with Kevin Wow, is trapped to go down, but he's already respawned, come back up towards the head of the statue, and will now attempt to force his way into the top of that room, but he's already traded places. VDMK is now off in no man's land between the two opposing forces of Pithy, and Nubkey, and Pithy will be the one to take him out. Nubkey was actually traded on the other side of the map. Remember, Kevin Wow is no slouch, right? He is a very talented player in of his own right. Great aim to boot. And to call this team one-sided is only to emphasize VDMK's skill.
Right. No, I mean, VDMK is somebody we've been talking about all season long. I mean, I think the very first game that we broadcast this season was VDMK just, I mean, absolutely running a train on his opponents, hitting them like a freighter, and just, you know, making a statement that I think set the tone for the rest of the season, especially when people would come up against him thus far. Now, though, Nubkey
4
and
seconds
Pithy.
till that quad spawns, and maybe they're going to get shoved completely out, but great timing there. VDMK instantly responds on the Nubkey, though. Grabs himself a great first frag and catches Pithy in midair to boot. A fantastic follow-up there. Plus the lightning gun. He is... I think we've seen this. This is a little bit of deja vu, you know, just the quad damage and then absolutely destroying a whole team with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's something that every player at this level can do. It's just a matter of maintaining that quad once you get the lock on it. It is, of course, very easy to overcommit to that quad. Becomes a very Pyrrhic victory, and then before you know it, you don't have the HP to sustain. This not the case now. Was a good run, but Pithy and Nubkey both locked down a kill for themselves, bringing this only back to a 4-frag game, just shy of 3 minutes on the clock here. We'll see whether or not they can continue to turn up the pressure, continue to get these 2-man wipes in the face of their opponents. That's one onto Kevin Wow trying to claw back. Only 3 frags down at this point. It's good play from Pithy.
3 minutes in, I mean, it's getting a little bit faster than I think we expected. The double lightning gun doesn't hold up to the rockets. His HP withers away in the fire. Pithy is able to somehow stay on top of that one. They know when the heavy's about to spawn, but they don't really want to get it yet. Instead, dropping back down, but Nubkey has been left alone and to die. Young Lord Ved is the one in the face of Pithy, but with the double lightning guns, he is able to convert the first kill and tries to get for the second. Kevin Wow walks onto the lava and then burns alive.
Yeah, not ideal here. We've watched this now go from, I think, 6 and 11 to tied at 12 and 12. Nubkey dancing with death, but he does lead, and that means that this waltz is one that he decides to end on his own terms. Not going to go down just there yet, but Pithy will send Kevin Wow to the grave. He's going to find himself the lead in this game for the first time. Back around does get brought back, but Young Lord Ved going down means that it's a nice 2-frag lead. Swung over to the side of Appalachian State. We'll see whether or not they can maintain it. The protection's coming up. Pithy's in the midst of it, and he takes a page out of VDMK's book. Says, you can do it with double rockets. Well, so can I, bub. I'm going to make this one happen as he rocket jumps on up, getting into the face of his opponents. He hears them. It's just a matter of finding and isolating him. It is, of course, just Kevin Wow in a 2v1. Nubkey locks down the kill for that. And Pithy still off to the races with a lot of health on that protection and some good time to it, too.
He is getting traced pretty heavily as he runs into the main room, thrown backwards by the force of the lightning gun. Kevin Wow escaping with sub 20 HP, but only for a little bit of time as Nubkey is able to find his mark. The machine guns are able, and willing to convert for a double kill. Pithy, he's low. He can still retreat for now. VDMK has had such a hard time finding the double plays that he's so well known for. He's had such a hard time getting actual momentum. And it's all because Pithy and Nubkey just play off each other well, you know, right? That you saw in the early parts of the game, it was just about the solo play, who has more speed, who has more health, more armor, and a better position. And then that was, for the most part, VDMK or Kevin Wow just playing off each other. And this time around, it's all about the trade, right? Nubkey is there to trade for Pithy. They both don't go down any of these times at the same moment, and that means they're allowed to build up quite a large lead.
Yeah, I mean, right now, they've got 7 frags up. Kevin Wow trying to shorten that up just a little bit, but 21 to 15 is no slouch, especially here at 5.5 minutes. This game a little bit ahead of pace, not what you would, well, that's something to be expected on a smaller map, but with now Ved and his teammate Kevin Wow, they do have to find a way to turn this one back around. Pithy locking things up and in. A little bit of choppiness there, to apologize for whatever happened on the stream just then and there, but either way, do continue on with the action just shy of 6 minutes now. 16 to 23 as we take stock. The quad is up, and it's taken now by Pithy, but he actually SDs. Cannot be too careful with the splash.
That's a pretty good thing, but there is a man here, and it's VDMK. They thought he was already gone when they killed off Kevin Wow in his very low HP. Instead, with him on the quad, he's able to trace Pithy, track him down, and convert for the double. Nubkey, a great play, and then The lead, it was so massive, but it's already almost gone. With VDMK at the helm, he can do so much, and he is driving recklessly today. The quad damage could be enough, and they get another team wipe, 23-24. They brought it back to a very close game.
Killing spree, power up, massacre. I mean, VDMK is just on fire with this. With quad damage that wasn't even initially his pickup. So, I mean, we're back to a 1-point game. We're back to even as we are just crossing the halfway point in terms of score. Not quite there in what a rocket. Not quite there in terms of the time yet, but 30 more seconds will bring us to head there. They are slowing things down just a little bit, right? I mean, Ved was able to pick up a lot of pacing there, but seems like a little bit of an outlier, all things considered. As I imagine now, before the protection spawns, these next 45 seconds are gonna dial back a bit in pace.
Or not, you know, they're getting a good pinch and they're still forcing in. This has been the way that they've gotten so many frags, just being aggressive, getting in the face of App State. It's working out again. Young Lord Ved is able to get away with his life, and maybe with a kill, that would be highway robbery to do it to him. But Nubkey, the sheriff of this county, and he puts a stop to that as the kills go even.
Town ain't big enough for the both of them. Of course, that town is Dallas. And that is what they're really competing for at this point. UT Austin.
That protection.
Be a short trip for UT Austin, right, to get to Dallas. Maybe not so much for the side of Appalachian State.
Texas is a big state. You know, Texas is a big state. I have a feeling it could take them a decent chunk of time. They probably like to claim it take them about as long as App State to get there, but if they get there at all is the question. 23 frags. VDMK certainly showing us why he is so revered, why he's so good at this game. It's just raw mechanical skill and aggression combined with it. When you're confident, when you know how good you are, and are able to put that into practice, that's when things start to go really, really well for most of these top teams, because it's all about pressuring the enemy team, getting them off the rhythm, and then using that to win, because you just have more of an advantage. This is exactly what we're talking about. 1 versus 2, protection's already fallen off, he just doesn't care.
Oh man, they're just ready to keep dialing this up. We do have the pressure on at this point. Nubkey locking down a kill for himself. Ved nailing it back onto Pithy as it's a 4-frag lead now over the University of Texas at Austin. Can they pick up a little bit more? The Longhorns are trying to find their way in, but Nubkey kills Kevin. Wow, now it's Ved versus Nubkey. Nubkey finds it, or I'm sorry, Ved finds it onto Nubkey and Pithy. They're going to continue this. Now they're up 5 when they were down nearly 10. So this is a pretty big swing from the likes of Austin at this point. Pithy locks back Kevin Wow, though. They're trying to make something happen. Keep in mind, we're only about 5 minutes left on the scoreboard here, so we thought this game was going to score for sure. Now I'm not as convinced with only really 5.5 on the clock left, and still 15 frags, maybe 19, depending on who your favorite to win here is. Things are getting a lot slower, but all the more intense.
Lightning gun, 1 versus 2. Pithy doesn't actually go through the slip gate in time, and so VDMK almost slips away into the underbelly of the level. Instead, actually gets tracked down immediately on respawn. We talked about these swings. Maybe this could be one of them. They're only down 2 kills. They would need a very short time to get back in the lead, but the shotgun, oh, it takes 1, but even though they drop the quad on the ground, it's immediately recovered. Nubkey keeping it safe for App State, and certainly he's going to even the game up. Maybe he can do more. The rocket's in his hand, the lightning gun as well. What will he choose? Will he even find them? He does find them. Kevin Wow, having already gone down, is a big, big tragedy, because it means that they've lost the lead now. And the rocket finds them again. 2 more kills, both onto the same man. With the lightning gun forwards, they are able to lock down VDMK to boot, and now the kills have swung back in their favor.
That it was really unfortunate, all things considered, spawn-wise, for the likes of Kevin Wow there, but it's going to be really a nice blessing for Nubkey over there to get that extra kill to pad this thing out, because now they've got a decent lead of 3 frags going into the home stretch here. We're 9 to go on the side of App State. It's only now, what, 11 coming out for, 11 left now for UT Austin, so getting sub 20 kills at this point.
These are doable. The problem is you can't be losing frags like that. You need to be getting them at every single opportunity. 14 kills now to make up in before they can get just 7. That's so hard to come by. In this case, it might almost be impossible as they get Kevin Wow again. So many of these kills in the last couple of minutes have just been catching Kevin Wow on spawn, but he answers back. The Galena trap at least brings them closer, but is it close enough?
How many times have we seen that on this map in particular? I mean, it's so effective, even against the top guys. You just get in the heat of the moment, and you don't think about it. Speaking of the heat of the moment, though, it's 4 frags to find for Appalachian State. It is 8 frags to find for the Longhorns. I don't know how this one's going to dial out. They're just slowing it on down. They're taking their breath. It's 2 moon and the statue room, and that means Pithy finds the first kill on the vet. Only 3 more to go. Nubkey getting ready for this prod, but Kevin Wow's there to try to contest it. Doesn't matter, as it does go over to Pithy. He can duel vet out very easily with this. Feels good about it. And yet they're all on the run. Kevin Wow and Ved want to just bleed off as much of this protection as they can. Pithy finds him anyway. And that's a slipgate play to try to escape, but Nubkey is here. They're gonna find him. Ved actually turns one back around, but it's still just 2 more to find.
He still escaped.
Oh my
goodness. Look at
goodness.
the movement. He's got moves. He's got shoes. He's got swag. He's out the door, and he didn't even let it hit him. 32 frags. And not even going down there to boot. He returns with the double lightning gun. He is not done with this map yet, and he shows us exactly why.
Are you
3 kills now separate the 2 teams, but at 5-2, is it too little, too late? The shotguns might say yes. This would be the last frag, and the rockets will do it.
And they find it. Holy cow.
Map number 1. I mean, Pithy and Nubkey, by the skin of their teeth, take the lead and hang on for dear life, riding the lion. That is UT Austin to a map 1 victory.
What on earth did we just witness? I mean, that was a game of volleyball, just bouncing it back and forth over the net constantly, trading off that lead. And it was a 5-frag game. By the end of it, Young Lord Ved did everything he could with a score of 33-21. And Kevin Wow, the evident hole in this roster, 12 and 30. We've seen him have weaknesses there, but never exploited so drastically. Seems like Pithy and Nubkey knew what they were doing when they targeted him.
Yeah, I mean, to say that it's like, it's just amazing. Like, you can find things even at the top level that you can exploit about these teams, right? Kevin Wow didn't look like weakness in any of their matches up until this point, right? He was never getting fragged constantly. He's always getting kills. He's always answering. He's always paired with VDMK. This time, he's just caught time and time again. It was like 4 frags in a row. That was just Kevin Wow dying, and you got to think, that's got to be changed, right? You got to make sure you form that up before map number 2 rolls around.
Well, if they can reel it in, it was close enough. VDMK showing off his skills. Now it's on to their map pick, and I have it on good authority that that map pick is Awoken. The smaller map will see whether or not this speed that we saw coming out of VDMK, this precision and really rotational-based gameplay, is going to be enough to make them stand a chance at really clutching this one back, bringing it to that 3rd and final game. Of course, if it does go that far, because they won the first one, Appalachian State has the luxury of choosing that last map, but we might be getting ahead of ourselves here because they are going to be looking to close this one out just on Awoken. They don't want this game to go the distance. They don't want this series to get close. They want to win one more game and bring themselves to QuakeCon to face off against Carleton University. And Shane has to be watching this with a lot of interest right now.
Yeah. I mean, this is probably... Well, actually, no. I wouldn't say this is guaranteed at all, right? 45-50 is not a score where you go, man, that was a one-sided victory. This is a unfortunate moment.
It's on the table. I mean, realistically, the Longhorns, on their map pick, a 5-frag swing, usually we see, 15 to 20 frag swings when it comes to your map pick, and not often enough is it drastic to really change the game. But on a split of 5 on the neutral map, yeah, I mean, this really could just be all locked down and go into a 3rd and final map. We'll see if VDMK and Kevin Wow can make that happen. Nice railgun shot coming out of Ved. We'll see whether or not they can keep up the pressure, keep up the momentum. As Pithy now trying to get back in return. Has the railgun out himself. Clips for 90, but it's just not enough to lock down the kill there. And slow starts to these games. We've seen, I mean, the first minute or so, They just feel each other out. They maybe find an entry frag, but it's not the explosive play that really comes around when they settle in and get comfortable with one another. Not quite, Nubkey. That's not who you want to shoot.
Well, fortunately, it doesn't actually penalize him any for doing that, but the railgun certainly will be the penalization. And the one thing I think Kevin Wow has really impressed me with is actually his rail skills. He has been quite on point with the snap shooting, and that's an asset, right? Even if it's just rails, being able to be masterful with the weapon, especially on your map pick, is insane. And it's impactful as a railgun. You know, that's a good weapon to pick, right? Rocket's a close second, Lightning definitely up there as well, but rail's a pretty good weapon. You know, it's only the iconic weapon in Quake. So, you know, as it goes, we shall see if the rails will keep landing. He needs, after all, to definitely frag a little bit harder than he did last time if they want to win this game.
Certainly the case, as we're about 20 seconds away from that quad spawning. Pithy locks down 2 and takes things back into a relatively even game as they're ready to start back up here. They're trying to get contention around this quad. The trap there is going to go a long way for Nubkey. The kill potentially going to go further as Kevin Wow is taken down there. That means BDMK has to back off. That's a free quad damage, and they're going to give it over to Nubkey. A little bit of a, you know, wonder if they didn't not have that plan. No, you take it. No, you take it. Okay, okay, I'll take it. Kind of seems the way that did play out. Pithy maybe wishing he took it there as Young Lord Ved does lock him on down. Nubkey finding a machine gun kill on the return onto Kevin Wow, but we'll see if he can continue this. Yes, there's the lightning gun as well. Ved just trying to get a fadeaway rocket. Not enough as he gets clipped in the back a little bit. Gonna pull out that railgun to try to defend himself. Or sorry, that was the lightning. Threw me off just a little bit, and the double up means he'll get the quad, but not really enough time to make any use of it. Either way, keeping us 8 and 8 on the lock here. Just shy of 3 minutes on the clock. It's a lot of pressure building up around this, as I think even Quake games are the story of this evening, or at least this series.
Definitely this series. Last one wasn't so even. This time around, much more so, especially even on the same map. Awoken. Both these teams have finally woken up. The first map served as a warm-up. What should be coming out? Young Lord Ved, not the single story for his team this time around. You know, he's actually gotten fragged, traded by Kevin Wow, and it's going to be another 1-for-1. Pithy and Nubkey very close in score, 5 and 6 apiece. But with Pithy taking down Young Lord Ved, we need to see some trades. Kevin Wow needs to be there. We need to see this coordination come out because they've got it in spades, App State.
These two complement each other pretty daggum well, Pithy and Nubkey. Pithy, the Quake experience. Nubkey, coming from an Overwatch background, but you can tell he's transitioned pretty well. And, of course, I say this most times we see him on screen. Hello, Kevin Wow. I say this most times we see him on a stream. The Overwatch background, I think he peaked at 76 or 78 of the top 500, so definitely at least has the skill set required to climb the ladder in solos.
It was at least something that is arena-like, because if that's on, like, you know, the hammer dude, it's not as transitional, but whatever the case.
Yeah, if he's like a Widow main, right? That's it. You can transition back to railgun shots.
I'm assuming that's one of the sniper ones, but whatever the case might be, Nubkey is not the one with the protection. That's Pithy, and he will claim another frag, 17-13. It's a kill gap that they don't want to see. UT Austin on their map pick are currently down kills, but only at 4 minutes in. They have time to find. Certainly Kevin Wow has no HP, though, and he's actually going to get pursued. The shotgun to chase down Young Lord Ved. And they're going to push it even further. 5-kill advantage.
Pithy really happy to make the plays with this Rockets, and that's 5 frags. Keep in mind, that's exactly the split that we had at the end of last game. It was 5 frags up for the likes of Appalachian State. We'll see whether or not they can win by a similar number this time. As speaking of 5, we're about 5 minutes on the clock here, and game, while likely not going to time, is something that's
it's
still in consideration.
You know, it's definitely in the back of their minds. I wouldn't say the front, obviously, because at 20 kills, you're still relatively on track, and we've seen these games accelerate as time does go on. Anyway, but as that quad damage comes up, both of these teams are going to want to contest it. After all, Young Lord Ved, he almost ran the first map with the quad damage. It got very, very close and very, very dicey for the boys from App State. If they lose another one, be devastating. Dropping onto the red. Pithy, though, with the double lightning guns, he's going to look to put a stop to all of this.
Ooh.
Missing the rails, though, at a very crucial time, and he actually goes in when he's not supposed to the gate. Chased into Kevin Wow is Pithy, and Nubkey is dropped by Young Lord Ved, but he gets to the Mega in time and saves it for himself, not going down for 3.
No, not going down for 3 at all. Young Lord Ved getting in onto Pithy this time around, locking it down. 3 more frags to go before we're back up. Make it 2, and a quad damage means that this may be the swing back in their favor. The momentum that the Longhorns have been looking for. University of Texas at Austin's going to be trying to find this. It's quad damage ticking away.
Hiding.
Almost half now,
They're
yeah.
hiding. He didn't check it.
Oh,
He
no.
didn't actually check that. He doesn't know where they are. He hears one, takes out Nubkey, and looks like he is going to check the under.
Pre-fires it, yeah.
Can't even step in towards that slip gate, and he's going on a roll now. 4 kills to find 5th one with that killing spree and the power-up spree to boot. It's going to be a fantastic way to get back into the lead. I can't actually believe he found the 5th kill, but it all did work out in the end, and he's got armor and HP to boot. Young Lord Ved, he has the map pick, but these teams have been so even. This is the only thing really separating them now.
I mean, he was able to smoke them out of their hiding holes the first time. When you do that, the spawns, you can really get a good rhythm here. Ved, this is his map pick. He's gonna know that rhythm. That's gonna be one of the most rehearsed things, is just figuring out what happens when you start kicking ass and taking names on a quad spree. Getting the feel for that and really locking it down. It's almost musical the way it does transpire, and Young Lord Ved, a maestro in his own right in that regard, but does indeed fall to Pithy there with the lightning gun. Kevin Wow takes a nice shot with that railgun. We talked about that being one of his stronger features. He finds a second one as well, as he's showing himself off a little bit here. Maybe taking a little bit of flack off his shoulder, saying to some of the naysayers, hey, look, here is why I'm on this team. Here is why I deserve to go to QuakeCon and represent the great state of Texas there. We'll see whether or not that's an opportunity they get. But right now, with 6 frags in the lead, it's looking like it does have the potential to be their map.
Map, though, would only bring them to even. They need to get more than that. They need to get some kind of psych advantage almost. And he goes for, in fact, the actual totem instead. The health totem, and it's something to take off the map, but the kills were already found by his partners, so he didn't actually have to convert much of anything. And that protection, while not on Nubkey, means that he still will go down. VDMK is going to try and find a way to get to Kevin Wow in time, but there's just no chance that he can get there. The speedsters have caught up to him, and they are looking for blood in the water. Pithy in the rocket jump is tracing VDMK through the air.
Gotta be
He's
careful.
gonna try his best. 30 HP. He might actually have to rethink this strategy, because if he goes in any further, even though he had protection, he could have gone down there. Trying to shoot around the corner. Nubkey knows that there's somebody there. He just can't find the angle.
Now with double lightning, Ved's trying to get into the middle of things here. Maybe going to be able to find an entry, but he is cautious, does not want a rocket raining down on his head as he tries to breach through that room. He's just going to dial it back. Gets the stopwatch, getting that nice armor to make sure he's ready to breach on the other side. Nubkey, Pithy, both moving fast, and that means a kill onto Kevin Wow with the double rockets. Not enough. Lightning gun does find the first one to switch to the rocket, and it's going to be an even trade back. We're still at 4 frags to the advantage of the Longhorns of Texas at Austin. Appalachian State need to start picking this one up if they want to close out this series. Keep in mind they do have the series lead, but not the lead in this game, so we might be looking at their map pick if this is something that Ved and Kevin Wow can continue this momentum. Obviously, not something that Appalachian State wants, right? They want to knock that out right here, right now, and punch their ticket to Dallas. But man alive, are Austin making it difficult.
They're certainly putting up a fight. They don't want to go down 2 maps to 0. That would be absolutely heartbreaking, especially for a team that is this good. Every team in the top 4, I think, really don't want to go down 2 to 0. And when that first map is as close as it was, you've got to think that there's a way that they can actually do it. You know, they're in the lead currently, and with VDMK pursuing in, that's the guy that you want to have at the helm. He's got the quad damage to boot, and it's going to look to close the map out here most likely. 10 kills to find. Should get a good chunk of them with this quad.
Kevin Wow doing the rest. Young Lord Ved starts the heavy lifting, and then they take it on out of there. That is another kill for himself. That's 2 3 that he's participated in since finding that quad damage. And
Here's
now 7 remaining, probably make it 6. Can he find 5 on this one? Do I hear 5? The answer is yes. Sold to the man for 5. That is, of course, a killing spree for Ved himself, ready to just continue on. But that will cap out the quad. Only 5 frags remain to find themselves locked in at 1-1.
The dual lightnings, that's actually a fantastic dual win to find. And the rail to boot to put them very close to ending it. This is not nearly as close as map number 1 was.
Oh, no. No, it is absolutely not. Zeta, I think we're going to see it. I think that game 3 is in the cards at this point. 2 frags over the span of 4 minutes. It seems very doable as Kevin Wow, happy to take that 1-for-1 trade, marches them ever closer. Only 1 away now from that 50 score line. Yes, Appalachian State threw down the gauntlet in map number 1. But UT Austin have answered and answered with vigor as they come back with a much more one-sided win this time around on their map pick of Awoken. The GGs come down. The scoreboard will come up in just a moment, and look at that. Kevin Wow, much better game this time around. Only -1 on the scoreboard, but VDMK more than made up for it at this point. And look at the hole that Pithy and Nubkey found themselves in. 1927 and 1523. Austin came into this map confident, and they finished it that way.
Yeah, and as shaky as that early game was, the fact that they actually managed to turn it around to get back in, granted off the back of some fantastic quad work and the railgun chiming in as well, map number 3 is going to be interesting.
We'll see indeed, because now, keep in mind, the spoils of war for winning the neutral map, the beautiful advantage is that Appalachian State, Nubkey, Pithy, they get to choose what map they want to run. And speaking of run, it's going to be Blood Run is their final decision, I'm hearing. So we're going to get that set up, ready to rock and roll, because this one, whew. I got a question yet again. If you're chained, if you're Burton, and you're watching this game, which they'd be crazy not to right now, at least. Hey, maybe not. They just finished playing. They don't want to watch right now, sure. But you want to dial it back, or you go watch it at some point. What's going through your mind? What are you thinking? Who do you want to face?
I'll be honest. What I'm personally thinking is what is going on in the maps, right? I'm looking for patterns. I'm looking for play styles. I'm looking for any way I can actually dismantle both of these teams, right? And so if I'm personally the analyst for Shane and Burton, or I am Shane and Burton, you know, I'm probably not nearly that good at Quake, you know, but at least Quake champions, nowhere near that good. So
I like that you leave the door open.
But if I'm them, I'm looking at App State. I'm saying, okay, these guys have a great pair. They're fantastic together. They can absolutely be run over by individual play. We have fantastic players. We have great aim. Take them to a smaller map and just run them over. We saw that on Awoken. As soon as you get the speed, as soon as you get the acceleration going, and especially the power-up control, which they are not essentially strong at in all situations, then you can absolutely take over the map. And so that's what I would look for App State. On the other side, Houston, you're looking at these guys and you're saying, okay, what is their strength? Their strength is VDMK is nuts. How do we shut down VDMK? In map number 1, they did it very well. They said, okay, we're not going to separate VDMK. We're going to focus down Kevin Wow. And that has proven to be quite an effective strategy, at least to gain frags. But if you can disrupt the pairing of Kevin Wow plus VDMK, you can absolutely get frags and separate these teams into almost a tier below where they are, right? When they're playing solos, obviously it's a 2 versus 1. That's where you have the advantage in both of these scenarios, but especially when you take Kevin Wow into your main focus and when you accelerate versus App State.
Well, we're going to see how it all does transpire as the game ready to rock and roll, loading on in. 1-1, winner takes all. This game, this singular map of Quake, is worth $5,000 as it does move up their minimum prize winnings from 10K to 15. But not only that, it punches that plane ticket to Dallas, Texas, where they will compete at QuakeCon against the likes of Carleton University, against Chain and Burton, 2 other storied favorites throughout this tournament. The GLHFs come down. Good sportsmanship from Pithy there to make sure that everyone's feeling pretty good about this one. See if that karma pays off for him at all throughout this game, because now we've got potentially just 15 more minutes of semifinal action on our hands before it all comes down to that grand final next Saturday, a week from this upcoming Saturday. So a little bit of time, a little bit of a break in between all of this. It's a little sad, honestly, Zeta. This is the end of our, Monday, Tuesday night summer escapades.
Well, I'm not that sad because I get to watch good Quake. And more importantly, whenever we're going to next see each other and you guys on stream, we'll be live at QuakeCon with one of these two teams. We've already gotten into the action. The run is getting bloody, and 3-2. This is about the same scoreline we've seen all series long, right? Very even, early to mid-game. Everybody's trading back frags. They've got fantastic control over their portions of the map, and nobody really wants to overextend. When they do, it gets extremely dirty.
Thinking about this, it's odd to consider Blood Run, like, you don't think of it in the pool of just large maps, right? But this is the largest map we've seen tonight. I mean, when you compare it to Corrupted Keep, when you compare it to Awoken, Blood Run...
Which is the only two maps we've seen in 2 series, for reference.
Yeah, so it's the big one tonight. I'm curious to see how it's going to affect the play, how it's going to stretch things out. Obviously, it is the map pick of the guys over in Appalachian State, but not going to be anything that, UT Austin is uncomfortable with.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's a default, a very standard map for the most part. Most teams can play this, and they can play it very well. Of course, they need to in order to be able to win most of the more neutral style maps. If you only play ridiculous maps, you're going to get caught out and unexpected most of the time around. Kevin Wow, having already gone down, not a good thing, especially when this quad is about to spawn. That means VDMK is going to have to win the solo duel in order to make it work out. He gets it, no contest. They don't want to challenge. They don't want to give more frags over to this already 4-kill lead.
I mean, there's a pretty nice zoning rocket from Ved there just to lock it down, but he's more concerned with getting that. He's more concerned with getting that stopwatch down than he actually is on finding the kills. Quad's half expired by the time that he gets out to the gate and finds the first kill on it. There are only 4 in the lead. A rocket preemptively does mean he's at least allowed to trade, but Nubkey was there to get the early damage down enough to keep it even. That means the quad falls. The timer's going to be, in limbo for a little bit there. Pithy picks it up on a kill with Young Lord, and now it should just expire. No harm done anywhere else with this quad damage on the map. Relatively underwhelming.
Yeah, and with the nail gun, they're both pushing forwards. 2 versus 1. Can they win the duel? Solo actually thrown backwards. Kevin Wow, shotgun versus rocket. They trade evenly. Keep the scoreline relatively close. This has been, of course, so much of this game. Just everybody answering and finally combining for a kill. It's Pithy and Nubkey playing their usual 2-man style. They're trying to get the great, trying to get a catch. They hear them below them, but even though App State hears them, they can't actually see them, and none of the rockets connect. So they're going to have to reset, get some armor, try to answer a little bit differently to the questions being asked. 7 HP is enough to get away with it.
It's only a 2-frag split at this point. Make it 1 as Nubkey shores up that onto Young Lord Ved just a little bit. VDMK did meet his untimely demise with a lightning gun in the back. No chance for a don't tase me bro there. Just shy of 4 minutes on the clock. Game at this score level, stands a pretty good chance of going to time. Could kind of be either way, but I would be surprised if we don't launch well over 11, 12 minutes. Yeah, the protection's coming up. Kevin Wow couldn't hold it there. Pithy and Nubkey were on site, and Ved with the nail gun doing his damnedest, but it's just not enough. Means the proc goes well over into the hands of Appalachian State. We'll see whether or not they can make any moves with it. That's at least 1 onto Kevin Wow, and a lead for themselves for the first time in a while.
Talking about catching out Kevin Wow, it worked for them in map number 1. They're going to try and do it again in map number 3. Couldn't get the start going, and definitely didn't have the pace in map number 2. They got completely caught off by what they were bringing to the table, and Houston, just like their namesakes, completely ran them over with the horns.
Yeah, the Longhorns, UT Austin, were really able to just pick up the damage there. And Lord Ved does go down. It's another one for Nubkey. Kevin Wow, that's a nice little run back. They're keeping the lead for themselves. It's, on life support, this lead. It's really not a healthy lead. It's looking Like, it could just swing back any second, and hey, there you go. Just like we talked about. That's a combo kill. Kevin Wow gets that one for himself, and I have a feeling that this is going to be the story of the game for the most part, right? Is just these quick little leads, never really getting any more than, I'd say, like 5 or 6 ahead before it just does shore back up. But this time it is the turn for UT Austin. They still have one in the pocket here. We'll see if Nubkey can get in and trade this one back, and it's almost onto Ved, but there's Kevin Wow with some nice lightning to get in his face, but look at that. Ved tried to challenge with very little HP, and he was just picked up instantly. That's not what you want.
Definitely not what you want, and definitely not what you want to see when Kevin Wow's the one actually fragging out. If he's doing his job, you need to do yours as well, but Pithy and Nubkey, they are no slouches when it comes to the damage. Now fighting in this room over control of the quad damage. Whoever dies here will not get the chance to respawn, and it will be Appalachian State taking control over this room. 5 seconds until that quad spawns. Young Ved, maybe this could be this chance. The one thing that they need. He's dancing around with a lightning gun and the rails.
Kevin Wow's the cleanup.
Out by Kevin Wow. They pick it up anyway.
Ved bought enough time to make that one happen. Means there's not going to be a stellar quad run, at least not on the side of App State. Kevin Wow says, I might just be making one of my own here. 9 and 12. He's trying to keep it relatively even on the scoreboard. He was exploited last game. First game. This game, he's trying to make sure that's not the case, and what better way to do it than with a very angry quad damage. He only actually hurts himself on that one with the try shot there. Quad does expire, but it's a 3-frag lead over for the side right now of UT Austin. Make it 2 as Pithy picks up Kevin Wow, maybe trying to find a little bit more here as the two are running together. Young Lord Ved finds Nubkey, though, and now Pithy backed into a corner. Takes the slipgate out, misses the rail shot, and Ved does not miss.
What is that?
He just clips him right on through. Beautiful play from VDMK to make sure that one comes through clean and continue to protect this lead. It's 4 frags now, and one of the most drastic leads we've seen.
He has like 3.5 pixels to aim through, and the first 1.5 he locates him. The second 1.5 he flicks to him, and they get a great chase in. Now forcing forwards, Young Lord Ved has made himself known. The lightning gun rejects both of them though, and the elevator is shut down, not open for business as Pithy on 25 HP goes hunting for more kills. This time around, he just doesn't want to, misses the flick, but at least Nubkey is there to answer.
Yeah, Nubkey holding that one back in, trying to keep this one a relatively even game. I mean, we've seen leads of 2 to 5 range up. 6 here is the most drastic lead we have seen, and we'll see whether or not now.
2.5 maps.
Yeah, we'll see whether or
kills
not.
The biggest gap. Actually, no. End of map number 2, we had like a 17 kill lead.
And keep in mind, that happened really fast. It was like 37 to 33. And then, like 37 to 30 or something. And then all of a sudden it just broke wide open. Protection, though. VDMK finds that one for himself.
That's definitely a good thing to pick up. If you're a fan of the Longhorns, if you want the Horns to hook them, you better say it right now because they are definitely getting a good piece of that. App State. And, maybe they can run away with this 8-kill lead. This is accelerating exactly like we saw in map number 2, going in their favor, but Kevin Wow caught out again. Will go down. The protection now, 1 versus 2. Can he make it work? Young Lord Ved with it all to do, but it has already fallen off, and he's been thrown back down the tunnel. Now leaves it in the hands of Kevin Wow to try and answer back.
And very little HP. Has to be careful there. Kevin Wow does get Nubkey, though, and then got the health back up, but it wasn't enough to stop Pithy's rockets. He's going to take that one back on through. It's an 8-frag lead still at just about 9 minutes in the game. This is where, if you're Appalachian State, you need to slow things down a little bit. The chaos...
Well, the problem is you can't slow things down. If you slow them down, they win with 12 kills. You've got to go together. You've got to use that synergy that was working so well for you, and they catch Young Lord Ved. He doesn't think that the Tri-Guns are still going to be coming, but they fly through. The shots explode in his face. Little bit of egg, little bit of disgrace, but it all signals another kill. 7 now. The gap between the two teams, and you have to think, with a gap like this, would they ever be able to give it up? Unless a quad goes over, the unthinkable happens, and they lose 5 fights in a row. That's the only way, really. They need some kind of power-up, and they need it soon.
Well, App State taking a page out of the Goonies book, and they're never saying die. Look at this. 15 seconds to quad damage, and they're just setting up I mean, they really started this setup closer to 30 seconds. That's a hell of a lot of time to devote to just setting up for quad, but they know they need it. They know it's such a vital win condition, but Nubkey trying to hold off against Ved. Can he get Kevin Wow here? That's going to be it. The quad does come down. The kill onto Kevin Wow. This could be what they need as they bring it back down. 6 frags. Only 5 minutes left on the clock. Nubkey, you got to start finding kills with this QD. That's going to be the first one onto Kevin Wow. Now, where in the world is VDMK? Because you got to keep this pressure going.
Oh, he's behind you. But trading 1 for 1, it's still good, right? They have a lead. They need to keep pushing it. Kevin Wow in the wrong place at the wrong time still does fall. And this has been a very effective quad. The lead now has shrunk to only 4 kills between the two teams. And with young Lord Ved attempting to lock down this 1 kill, the machine guns dual wielding to get those kills is a great thing. But Nubkey, mega health to keep himself alive, and then converts with the rail for a great return kill. It's VDMK, it's young Lord Ved. They have to do this. Kevin Wow now answering with his own kill, but Pithy, on a great snipe right before he gets brought down by the rockets. 5 kills versus 10. They need to close this out, and they need to do it soon, because if they leave the door open, App State are going to stick their foot in.
Absolutely, and now down to just 4 frags. I mean, we clawed this back for, what, 8, 9 at this point? So all they need to do is find a pattern like that yet again. And look at this. They're still taking the time to slow down. They're still knowing, okay, look, we still have 3.5 minutes on this clock. There's plenty of time for 4 kills. Make it 5 now. Make it 6. Young Lord Ved not wanting to be denied, trying to get in through all. But is it enough? 8 more remain.
14. I mean, 8 to 14, it seems like such an imposing number, especially with 3 minutes remaining. They're going to have to play a little bit faster as they charge into this middle room. Young Lord Ved and Kevin Wow win it out again. Only 6 frags to find, and surely they have the protection. Surely this is going to go in their favor, but Kevin Wow's already going down, and so has young Lord Ved. The protection goes over to App State.
That could be the big stop they need at this point. This could be the turning of the page. We'll see whether or not it is possible or just a pipe dream. They're cranking it in on the entry to Kevin Wow. Pithy finds the kill. Ved is on the run. Does he want to try to flank? No rockets, so he can't splash in.
Absolutely not. I mean, this point is hide. It's reduce the kills. Don't give them anything, because if you do, we mentioned it, App State's willing to take it all, and the dual wielding shows us why. Pithy on the aim keeps the dream alive.
They're so split up. I mean, look at this. This is solo after solo after solo. They just keep running in like lemmings off a cliff. Not what you want to see. We're down to a 3 frag lead.
There's no way it goes down like this. They have such a big lead. They had a lead. It's shrunk into nothing. 3 kills, 8 to 5. They were in this situation on the other side of the coin. They just have to close it out like they were closed out in map number 1. But they can't do it. They haven't found any of the frags. Finally, drops. But will this be enough? Pithy goes down as well. 3 kills to 8.
Oh, it's so close at this point. But look at the pressure that is mounting. Everyone just playing so slowly. Look, now the band is back together. Ved and Kevin Wow. They had some time where they were just off in their own worlds.
They could wait this off. They could spend as much time as they need, you have to think, and then contest for that 1 quad. But do they want to? How are they going to play this, right? We've never seen a team really take time, really take a lead, and really make it happen. But this could be the one that needs it to change for themselves. Pithy and Nubkey hiding in the lower tunnels. Do they get spotted out? Jumped across. The lightning gun is keeping him in place. Rails missing the flick. Young Lord Ved somehow gets away with his life. The double whammy, but it's just not enough. He needed to land one of the earlier frags this time. Young Lord Ved turns it around. 2 kills to find.
Oh, things are looking very dire for Appalachian State as they're down to 1 minute of playtime left. How are they going to pull this one off? A quad would be a great way to do it. They find Ved. Kevin Wow can't hold it either. That's the quad coming up. That's going to be Nubkey getting it. No, I'm sorry, it's over to Pithy. Nubkey finds the kill onto Ved, though, and it's still a 3 frag game with a quad damage at this point. Are you kidding me right now?
2 to 5 to find. Kevin Wow from behind. He actually has the wrong weapon out.
Another one.
Saw. As he goes down, it's like running with your knife in CS. It's the worst thing you could possibly do. But young Lord Ved, he's already dropped, and he's going to try and make his way through the slip gate. This could be it.
1 frag separates.
3 to 2. Backstab is what needs to happen. The quad damage. He goes through, and he's brought down by Nubkey.
We're tied.
Game.
Are you kidding me? We're tied, and there are 15 seconds left on the clock. They take the lead. Are you joking? Pithy locks down Kevin Wow with 10 seconds of play left. What can Ved do here?
He needs to get both kills.
Oh my
4
goodness,
seconds.
he's chasing it in 4, 3,
seconds.
2. Can you find it through the slipgate? The answer is no! Nubkey and Pithy, Appalachian State with the comeback. Are you kidding me? What
On time!
in the hell did we just see? Oh my god, Zeta.
On time!
$5,000, a trip to QuakeCon, just like that. One kill
One
separates.
Frag to go to QuakeCon.
I'm not really sure how to process any of this information. A little shocked here still. Okay. Wow.
The
So
$5,000 kill.
some thoughts
both
here.
The other 2 maps don't matter, right? This was a best of 1 that ended in 1 frag at time.
That one frag punched a ticket to Dallas for App State, meaning they are going to be the ones to play against Carleton. But okay, look, so that was the best series of Quake Champions that we have seen here on screen. So we did have
The triple OT. Okay.
yeah, the triple OT Rochester versus
Is the best playoff series.
might have been
by
York.
far.
Yeah, but holy cow. What a clash of titans, and it comes down to 1 frag with time. I mean, if there's an extra minute on that clock, things could have gone so differently, right? But I'm sorry, I'm just falling apart on this one. Wow.
I'm here to talk, and I have no words.
How do you process what we just saw? I mean, how do you deal with that, too, if you're UT Austin right now?
You've got the lead, 3 kills up, going to the last minute of play. So what you're thinking is we get one win, right? 1 2-for-1 trade. We win the game. They forced once unsuccessfully into the quad at a very inopportune time. If they had hidden them, if they had won the fight, if they'd gone even in the fight, 1 for 1, 1 for 2, it would have been a different story. But because it is a complete clean wipe, they can play so aggressive because they know that if they trade out a fragger and they lose someone while the quad's still up, they can still win the game. And when they did, on time in regulation, 49-48.
Well, with that, I mean, we talk about the implications of QuakeCon. There's also some money we got to talk. I mean, they've just locked down another $5,000, $15K minimum if they go and they manage to, just peter out at QuakeCon. 25 is the grand prize there for our winner of the CSL this year. 15 for second place. Obviously, they'll have their eyes on that. But if you're Carleton University right now, if you're Burton and Chain, and you're watching that, well, you know now that your opponents can play under pressure when the chips are down. They can clutch something out here.
They're going to have to. You know, there's going to be a lot of pressure. There's going to be a big stage and some... I would say, based on their recent performance, the hardest possible opponents to face.
Well, so we did see 2 very distinctive messages sent tonight, if you think about it. We saw the message of, hey, do not mess with us. We're here to play. We're here to put this in the ground. Carleton obviously sending that message as they, they sort of bodied RIT. There's no way of putting that one lightly. Second game was a little closer, but for a playoff series in the semifinals...
It was a shoulder tackle to the gut. It was a very, very...
And the second message we saw is, look, beat us down.
Never say die.
Right, yeah.
I'm just gonna go. We've got the Goonies, and we've got like the bulldozer from Holes.
Okay.
And that's the matchup we got here.
I like it. Someone dropped some logos. Let's figure this out.
Yeah, that is what I'm seeing right about now. And so far, Chain hasn't really seemed like he's been challenged. We mentioned in the quarters he had a little bit of a run for his money, right? There were some times where he looked like he was getting fragged out. There were some times, even in that last series, where he actually did get answered, where there's times where he looks human. But the rest of the time, he's just going click, 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 you're all dead. So which one's going to show up at QuakeCon? That's the real question. If he brings both halves, he needs to shift into that higher gear more often than not and not give these guys a chance. We mentioned that like 6 times to not give App State a chance to get back in. where they're gonna take it.
Well, with that, gotta issue some huge congratulations, of course, to Pithy and Nubkey of App State, of course, to Chain and Burnton of Carleton University, who will be joining us at QuakeCon. Also, have to extend some warm GGs to our competitors, our fallen, vanquished along the way. Of course, 187 and Epiclo of the Rochester Institute of Technology Tigers, and of course, the Longhorns of VDMK and Kevin Wow. Now, a little bit of a silver lining for those guys. I do have it on good authority, actually, that VDMK will still be attending QuakeCon to play in the 2v2 Open Tournament. So, this is his road in the CSL ends here. But, if you're watching Quake, if you can't get enough action, whether it's us or on the official Quake channel, you may see his smiling face again. And, this time not...
I'm pretty sure. Because these guys get flown out for QuakeCon, they have... probably time, I would think, to actually play in the Open Tournament, right? Everyone who's actually playing in the CSL tournament, I wouldn't see why that wouldn't be the case. So
you likely could. I mean, unless
maybe.
Open Tournament's running at the same time as our scheduled
Maybe.
program. But I mean, you're going to tell me you can't swap it around to play one best of series on stage and then Schmozy on back?
Maybe. We'll see. Hopefully, we can see some more of these guys sometime soon. UT Austin might be showing up again sometime soon. But
last thought on that before we close out too is that since the Open Tournament is just that, an Open Tournament, he doesn't have to team with a member of his school, so we could see VDMK.
We could see multiple of the Texas guys come back for this.
I would like to see that, but with that, we've been stalling
Houston.
long enough. It is unfortunately time to close out our last broadcast of the regular season before we do go to the finals at QuakeCon. That means the next time you see us, we'll be dressed up nice and pretty and bringing you some action from Dallas, Texas live. Yes, Zeta and I have the immense privilege, thanks to CSL and Bethesda, of being the two that will document this game live as it does happen before you. We're very excited for that. But in the meantime, we do need to bid you adieu for tonight. Let everyone get their, selves back together after that barn burner of a series, and reevaluate for next Saturday, not this upcoming one, but the following, which I believe is the 12th there, but I could be mistaken. Either way, before we do sign off, we do need to give some shout-outs to the wonderful people that make all of this possible. If you were listening before, you heard it, you're about to hear it again, because we just love saying it that damn much. Is a shout-out to Bethesda for making this game, obviously making all this possible, commissioning the league, fronting that 100K and the trip to QuakeCon that everyone was coveting this year, that Appalachian State and Carleton did come away with. Then, of course, do need to give a huge shout-out to Twitch. Student Twitch, you know them, you love them, twitch.tv. Obviously, you're familiar with it if you're hearing this right now, but there's always a lot of cool ways to get involved that you might not know about. You can find those out on their social medias, twitter.com/Twitch, facebook.com/Twitch, Twitch Student, a platform for students. Very, worth looking into there if you are interested in collegiate esports like we are here at the CSL. Last but not least, we do have to give a huge shout out to Juice Battery. The battery that lasts 6 times as long and charges twice as fast is made for gamers to keep all of your peripherals and controllers and other wireless accessories in the game, and instead of having to make constant runs to the battery drawer. With that, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kyle Corvuscro. I've been joined all season long by Zeta. We'll see you again one last time in just shy of a couple weeks here. But in the meantime, we do bid you adieu. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We hope you all have a blessed evening, and we'll see you very soon.
Take your things, 'cause we won't be back again. Say goodbye.